So here at Sharp Cuts, we like to think we're big into self-improvement, improving things from week to week, trying to get better every single time. And Josh, this weekend, last week, we totally blew it and took a huge step back. We need to apologize to our viewers. Are you absolutely kidding me? Audio's late, video quality's garbage. I'm wearing a crazy bucket hat. The content is just going downhill, Josh. And I feel like we both need to give a serious apology.
I think the low for me last episode was I asked Jasper who number 10 was in the photo, and it was Jasper. That's how little research I did. I didn't even know what number he was in some of the team picks.
Yeah, so I will admit now I did forget his last name as we were talking. Like that's the quality bar that we've now reset, and it's terrible on this show. So, our two new guests for today are getting sort of that vibe as we get started here into Sharp Cuts. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Garrett May, alongside Josh Nickel. As always, welcome back to Sharp Cuts. We apologize again for last week. We're trying to raise the bar here this week, so hopefully we've delivered. We got two excellent guests this week from the University of Saskatchewan, Dylan Mortison and Matthew Primrose. Welcome to the show, my boys. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, guys. It's great to be here.
Yeah, really nice. Thanks for not pointing out the bucket hat immediately. Much appreciated. Again, taking a huge step back. I think it's all part of this. So, Josh, I have no idea where we're getting started today. I really shouldn't have apologized before the show because maybe the show is going to be garbage and we need to do another apology again. Are we starting somewhere or we just got to figure it out?
Well, let's just hype it up here, Garrett. Jasper last episode challenged us to start promoting like our leagues more and talking about like we had to pick a player of the week, a game of the week. My player of the week didn't quite work out, but I outdid myself by getting Dylan on the show because Garrett, fun fact, 29 kills on Friday night. That was a Garrett May-like game in a 3-2 win over Brandon. And I believe, Sask, are you guys now tied for first? And Matt, like great resume himself, a good guy from Alberta. He's won AC and Sask now. So, Garrett, I feel like we're representing more of the country because I don't know if we've had a Sask guest on. So, Dylan, thank you so much for doing this. And it's always great to have an Alberta guy on the show, too. So, I feel just the company we have, Garrett, is an amazing start. But I would like to hear from these guys how the league's going because we got a first-place club here, Garrett.
Yeah, so a couple wins on the weekend. We put us into first. We're 5-5, but then Winnipeg is 5-3. So technically, I mean, they've got a better.
Hold on, you're in first at 5-5.
Yeah, we've got a tight conference, the Eastern Western Conference.
What? Like 5-5 is good enough for first place? Josh, when you hype these guys up, I was like, oh, they're from a top tier club. We're 500 boys.
Yeah. 500 first. Yeah, you go ahead, Matt. If you got something to say.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough conference this year. There's a lot of good competition. I don't know. We're in the Prairie Conference, right? With COVID, it's kind of messing everything up. So instead of us traveling across Western Canada, we're only staying in the prairies a little bit. So that's different than other years, right? We've never really experienced anything like this before. But yeah, I mean, we're still battling away. So it's better than 0-10, right?
Well, good
like, how much game planning are you guys doing? Because you've played Brandon, and it seems like you've gone to 5, I think, every match but 1, and that match went to 4. So is there even a game plan, or coach is just like, guys, figure it out already? Like, we've played these guys.
Well, we know
like
coach is saying that, though. We'll get to that. We know that's what coach is saying. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
these guys 20 sets already. Dylan, they know you're getting the ball. Just put it away.
Yeah, playing 30 sets. I mean, game planned. We definitely game plan it every weekend, but it probably dips a bit on an individual basis. I mean, we've basically guys are they got their logo in the away team room, so yeah, we're playing them lots and getting tendencies, I guess you could see, but obviously not game plan enough if we're going to 5 every game. So.
Well, I can tell immediately, Josh, that these two guys have gone to the Sean McKay School of Diplomacy here. And, we don't appreciate that kind of garbage here on this show. So cut the crap, boys. Let's get down to brass tacks here, okay? We don't need this McKay style, tell them how it, just be nice and sell it. No, let's get really down to it. I guarantee, is Sean McKay your coach in there? Listen, for background for the audience, their head coach, University of Saskatchewan, was my setter for 4 years when we played together at Western. So there's a bit of history here. So I know maybe some inside stuff going on there. There's absolutely no intelligent breakdown of video going on, is there? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, Sean's a good guy, man. Before we go on to this, I actually saw a video with you, Garrett. Was it called the Purple Couch back at Western? Is that?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, man, that was a wild interview that you guys had, and Sean was on it too. So I mean, yeah, you guys go way back. But yeah, no, Sean's a great guy. like a very he's quite young to be, you know, a university coach and lead the charge, but I think that's kind of what Sask needed, and he's doing quite well. It's nothing but politically correct answers on the Saskatchewan front from us.
Yeah, what the heck? Like, is he telling you guys, hey, if you're doing any media, you got to give him the cookie cutter answer. You got to say I'm a nice guy and don't give them any dirt on me at all. Is that conversation has to be had.
Very much so, yes, indeed.
Oh, I will break you guys by the end of this episode. I have to feel like I will. Probably not. That's the goal. I got to break you guys by the end.
All right.
Yeah. He's got 3 years of training in us now, so we'll see.
I was going to say, Garrett, we asked Jasper if there's anything Canadians do odd because he's American, but I got to know going the other way. Is there anything Sean did to annoy you guys? Because I understand that Ontario, we might think we're the center of the universe, but we're not as popular outside our own province as we might think, Garrett. So I want to know if Sean was accepted with open arms into the Sask community right away.
Yeah, I mean, there was some lots of like lingo that it took a while to pick up on, like
Really?
bolus, never like a word that we used at Sask. It was just
bonus.
Bolus, sorry, VOLLY. Like,
yeah, that's on you though. Come on, get with the program. Bolus?
Definitely an East thing. I don't know.
Well, you go down to California, they know what bolus is too.
Well, maybe a Western American thing too, but yeah, bolus, like, things like
the middle of the country missed out on bolus.
Yeah, just like call burritos like Ritos and stuff like that. I'm like, everyone's like, what the heck's going on?
Whoa. Who's calling burritos Ritos?
There's a big shell in there.
Don't put that on Ontario.
Yeah, that's a Sudbury thing, man. That's probably that ain't an Ontario thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. He did a really good job, and the assistant coaches are all like similar ages and like old players and stuff. So I think he got the hang of it pretty quick. He's been doing an awesome job. So.
Well, good for you guys. Happy to hear it. I mean, 5-5, first place, like taking. Sorry, I can't get over that. I feel like I'm being a total asshole right now. These guys have never met me, and I'm just chirping it.
It's tough.
I should say, yeah, we've won 4 in a row too. So we started 1-5. So
yeah, man,
you guys stormed ahead to first place from a 1-4 start or a 1-5 start.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a story in the making, Josh. We've got 2 guys who are going to go on to the national championship, I got to assume, right?
So is it you guys and the Toba schools? Is that your conference? Like you play Brandon, Winnipeg, and Manitoba?
Correct,
and UW, yeah. So there's 4 teams. Yeah.
COVID, Garrett, just made it so much more competitive because you play the same team every other weekend, it feels like.
Yeah, and those have got to be battles. Like my fiance is from Winnipeg, and we've been there a few times. I played a beach tournament in Winnipeg one time, and it was a hostile environment for a rec tournament. I was getting chirped. People were cheering against me. So, hey, having to travel there and visit those teams, that's your entire conference, that is not easy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the travel schedule alone, I think, we had the worst travel schedule, I think, of anybody in the country first semester, right? I mean, we're basically traveling 5 to 7 hours every weekend. We only had one home match, one home weekend in the first semester. So it's incredibly tough. And then you got to go play, you know, in cities where they love their volleyball, right? I think like Brandon and Winnipeg for sure. Like, you know, it's almost like a volleyball community in a sense, especially Brandon, right? After the success they've had over the past couple of years. So, yeah, it's an awesome environment to play in, but it sucks to get there. And so thankfully we got some more home weekends this semester.
Hold on, you guys drive? You guys are driving to every game?
Oh yeah,
every game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're driving 7 hours to play a match?
Yeah, like it's about a 9-hour drive to Winnipeg.
Are you kidding me? I mean, hey, I did that drive this summer when I moved out to Vancouver. So you call me an Ontario guy is false, Josh, by the way. But that is a flat, boring drive to Winnipeg. But and then you got to play a game. Like, you driving up Saturday morning and playing Saturday night?
Well, we go up Thursday after classes, like in the afternoon, and then come back Saturday right after the game.
Yeah, so you get home at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. sometimes.
My God, you're traveling basically 2 days to play one game.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is a terrible schedule.
Yeah.
It's tough on the athletes for sure. And then everybody, coaching staff, bus drivers, you feel bad for everybody. We're stopping at there's this one place we always stop at. It's Red Barn. It's like load up on food and you're not eating for a couple hours. So I mean, yeah, it's just it's a wild, we're a tough team.
Right.
Tough conference, but it's fun.
That's insane, Gary. I'm No, these bus rides, there's got to be enough time to maybe watch a CIS semifinal where maybe Coach McKay is pausing to be like, look at Matt called this timeout. Don't they know what's about to happen? Like the glory days of Garrett May taking over in a CIS semifinal. I think that matches must be on replay on these bus rides, Garrett.
Well, I hope so. Like, he's got to be showing you our matches. Like, I assume. Like, what else is he showing you if not his own brilliance, right?
There's only so many movies you can watch, right? Like, it has to be game tape, I think.
Yeah, he made us know that it was Western who beat out Trinity a couple years to get to the finals. So that's really cool. Trinity's kind of the big dogs.
Yeah, like I'm sure he's telling you, hey, you guys should have no problem with Trinity. I'm literally undefeated against Trinity. Like, come on.
Didn't mention any Garrett, but he said Western did well.
He didn't mention anybody named Garrett.
No, man. That's what I'm saying. The first time I ever heard of you was the purple chair interview, which I found
Are you absolutely kidding me?
Yeah.
I am losing my mind right now. I have to call your head coach and tell him, not even in passing, like a joke.
Yeah, like I said, perfect count.
What an absolute devastating blow to my ego.
I remember looking at Garrett. Garrett had you played that volleyball game on YouTube, right? Like that's where I knew you, from a while back. Nothing that Sean McKay ever did. I remember watching you play a volleyball game on YouTube.
To you, am I the guy who has that YouTube channel, not a player?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Then that's what I'm saying.
No, but is that what you know me from?
That's what I know you from. Yeah.
That, Josh. I don't know whether to be excited or pissed off about that.
Well, I see both sides, Garrett. Because in Edmonton, the kids would come up to me and be like, "Oh, you're the Yes Guy Gaming guy." But I would have thought with Coach McKay there, he'd be like, "Hey, Matt, back when we were at Western, like Garrett was taking half the court. You got to hold your finish on the platform a little bit." Or Dylan, in the gym, you're gonna get the ball. But my Garrett, he would still swing hard against the triple block. There's no urban legend going on about Garrett May. You're just the Yes Guy Gaming guy.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'll tell you, I'm sorry, boys.
Did Sean just pissed that I yelled at him to set me all the time, and he's just like, I'm sick and tired of that guy. Well, that's the thing though, Josh, is nobody knows the former players from 5 or 6 years ago, forget 5 or 6 years ago, 10 years ago, who cares? Those are old farts. They're not doing it anymore. That's kind of a sad thing about our league, actually, is you, and I'll tell you guys this right now. Everything you do, nobody's going to care about in 5 years.
Way to turn it on them, Garrett.
Because I'm experiencing that moment right now. So get ready, it's coming.
Oh, that's funny. I guess I heard you had a brother who played at U of A, hey?
Stop it. Don't even.
You're now Reed's brother. This is amazing.
Take that back. Absolute burying me right now. I can't handle this. Josh, who organized these guests to come on? Because this is a terrible idea.
This is fantastic for me so far. This is great.
Yeah, I guess in the Can West, nobody knew what was going on. And if you don't know beach, then
Sask has probably the littlest beach ever.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. But that's the thing is, do we even care about what's going on in volleyball? Do you guys follow volleyball? Do you keep up on volleyball news? Do you even care?
I would say individually we do, but I think you're right that I don't know if there's enough. I was actually having a conversation with some of the guys on the team the other day. In North America, for example, I think we often watch these massive sports or the big sports, right? NFL or MLB, hockey. And if our buddy was like, "Hey, could you throw a football 40 yards?" Right? We watch that on TV and be like, "Oh yeah, I can do that. Whatever. I'll grab a football." Even if I've never thrown a football before, I might be able to throw a spiral within 10 throws or something like that, right? But it seems like guys in our own sport, at the highest level in North America, is for university, might not even watch professional volleyball or know who the top individuals are, even if in their own position, right?
I think you're both proving that point by not knowing anything about me, and it's prompting this line of questioning.
Yeah,
100%.
That's probably fair.
I'm not going to list out my accomplishments because that would be two things: a dick move, first of all,
right,
and second of all, would totally demonstrate to everybody how big of an ego I have, which I don't want to get into that. But it is a good point. Do we even know who the player of the year was in, I don't know, 2015.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Brett Walsh, maybe?
I don't know, maybe. Like maybe if it was a guy who's on our current national team who happened to be on the Olympic roster,
Yeah.
which just happened, right? Like, disappointing. And you guys are in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about what's going on in the other conferences? Like, do you even care?
Like the Canada West conferences or like OUA and Quebec?
Both. I guess you probably care a little bit more about Can West because there's a little bit more connection there. But Ontario and the eastern provinces, you're probably not even on your radar.
Yeah, I mean, like, we definitely follow Can West like pretty close, but then like I know a few dudes who play in the OUA, but other than that, like it's like doesn't matter. Like, yeah, and Canada West ends up winning nationals every year anyway, so doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, most years they do. Now, would you agree with me that the level of the OUA is pretty garbage?
I think
I will break you guys. I will break.
I don't know. There's some super good players and super good teams coming on, but I feel like just because there's like what 12, I don't know how many teams are in the OUA. There's East and West, right? Or
yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Is my opinion on that.
You got to spread out the talent probably a little more than the prairie provinces do. So I'd say it's probably weaker.
So you would agree with me then?
I would say so. What about you, Pro?
Yes. Come to the dark side.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, I have a bunch of friends that play OUA, and like there's amazing competition out there, but I would guess my perspective is a little bit skewed being from Canada West to say like, oh, like run the best conference and like, I don't know, being in that, I think every day is something that, we're very prideful of. And if you look at that on past winners, yeah, like usually it is like teams from Canada West, but I don't think that's to say, I don't think that's to say that OUA is by any means, bad or bad volleyball or anything like that. Right. I think Canada as a whole is a damn proud volleyball nation. And we're succeeding at that. So yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I mean, well said, but come on, like yeah, for sure, Canada, go Canada, but come on. I mean, Josh, I know you don't agree with me at all. That's why I tried to get these guys on my side, and it seems like I got Dylan to kind of agree with me. I'm single-handedly trying to start this rivalry between the provinces in the U Sport leagues.
They're starting to sway a little bit, Garrett. I think by the end of the show, we can wear them out. One thing I just want to say is Brett Walsh was the player of the year in 2015-16. Nick Del Bianco was the player 2014-15. But in speaking of like legacy, Garrett, and just talking about that, I think it's funny, like even before practice today with the beach guys, we were talking about hockey players and what era and would Gretzky still be as good. Like that's a bunch of beach volleyball guys talking an educated hockey argument about like, oh, this guy's an Eddie era player. This guy, he could only do it at this time. Where like, you're right. When you said who's the player of the year in 2015, I had to I couldn't have guessed. I wouldn't have got Brett Walsh, but I am curious with the SAS guys on. Garrett, I'm scrolling through player of the year. Mark Dodds, player of the year. Adam Enns, player of the year. I scroll back a little bit further. Who won it twice? Darcy Busey won it twice. So is there like a SAS legacy? Like when you guys walk down the hallway, are these awards being presented? Like are there like when you guys think of SAS?
You have no idea who those people are.
Yeah, like is there a legacy of what these guys have accomplished in your gym, in your team room?
Yeah, I mean, I know who those guys are. I've been here for 6 years, so I've heard probably a little more than that. But there's definitely awards. I think Darcy has like an award named after him, and like his son played on the team. Adam Enns is he's pretty legendary. He's apparently the best player ever for the Huskies, which is pretty cool. And then Mark coaches the women's team, right? So everybody knows Mark. Really good.
So the answer is yes. The University of Saskatchewan, they know themselves. They just don't know really anybody else.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I think in that sense, it's like I'm new. I'm from Alberta, right? Like I'm only 3 years into the program too. So, but I'm pretty prideful of being on SAS team, and so I think to that degree, I don't know if they should care about anybody else, right? Like they celebrate their own people, right? I don't know. It's if you're.
Yeah, I mean that's good for you guys, and I respect that type of confidence. It's probably why you'll have some success. I mean, at Western, we knew we were sketchy at best. I mean, it was well known, and so any victory was a sneak, it was a lucky win. So I mean, we had fully had that, but there is that kind of pride for your school that creeps in. And when you graduate, we'll have to maybe revisit when you graduate. Do you still feel that?
Right.
Like, you know, because for me, it's like, yeah, I mean, West, but I don't know, like, it's 4 years of my life. Like, nobody even remembers what I did there. Like, was it a big deal? I don't know. It's a tough thing to say.
Good thing we have this show so we can promote your legacy for all time. Like, this show is all about selfish goals, Garrett. That's why we still run.
Yeah,
this
like
thing,
if they had said, yeah, no, I've heard of you, Garrett, because of sharp cuts, I would have been immediately like, I'm totally fine, totally redeemed. Who cares about anything I ever played? I mean, sharp cuts, let's go. Am I right?
Now, Prim, I'm curious, because you're an Alberta guy who went to Sask, did you look at any OUA schools, any AUS schools, or was that just kind of viewed as second tier and that wasn't going to be good enough for you and your university goals?
Yeah, I don't think it was based on that. It was based on proximity to home, right? I'm from Lethbridge, Alberta, so I tried to stay within, in the west, just so I could, drive 7 hours, right, from Sask to Lethbridge if need be. I looked at it like that, and I looked at it also from like an educational standpoint. And I think there's there's a lot of great schools out in the OUA that like have a high academic reputation. If that's what you're going there for, that's what you're going there for. And I think the last thing for me was the year that I transferred, we had a solid team, right? And I was looking to make some noise and hopefully start my career in youth sports with a bang, and play with a bunch of guys like Morty, right? We have a joke in our team that he gets praised too much, but it is deserved praise. I think he's a hell of a player, and he just look back on last week and he performed incredibly well. I wanted to play.
Who started that joke?
With yeah, I don't know. I mean, like Morty. There was a game last year or 2 years ago where Morty did okay. Like I didn't think he did like insanely well during the game. I thought like the passing line held it down, like whatever. And our coaching staff went in there. I was like, you know what, Morty, great job. Anything do you have to say? Other assistant coach, yeah, Morty did a great job. Anything you guys have to say? Yeah, Morty did a great job, right? So, a little jealousy creeping in there for a moment, but I wanted to play with guys like that, right? Like guys that are elite, and Morty's definitely elite.
Well, isn't that cute?
Yeah, that's some very kind words, Matt. Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't know. I guess I was in like a weird position where like I was in my second year. I was like one of the older guys on the squad already for whatever like turnover rate. So, I guess like kind of had a leadership role as coming in as a young guy, and I got a lot of volume from CJ in the early. So.
Okay, well, we're expecting you now to be on the national team carrying Canada to an Olympic gold medal. Like, we absolutely need that to happen now because we've had this show. So, looking forward to that. We are going to be talking about, in a little bit, our players of the week. We're trying to add some segments here. We're taking advice when we get week to week. Josh, last week, Jasper gave us the advice, hey, you should try to praise the players. So we're going to do players of the week. Did we have another segment we were doing?
There was a lot of ideas thrown around, Garrett. To be honest, we couldn't even afford like a T-shirt. That if we wanted to give Dylan a T-shirt and really like get his teammates to razz him because he's now the star of sharp cuts, it's not on the budget. But I think we talked about game of the week, villain.
Right.
We got to like.
Okay, yeah. Villains, player of the week. We're gonna do some of that. We'll see what we get to and what we can remember. But when we get there, we better not now all pick Dylan as player of the week.
Thank you. That's what we've been saying.
Yeah, like that would, Dylan, you did a great job. And then when we debrief the show after this, we all cannot go, hey, Dylan, I thought you did a really great job on the show. Yeah. Like that can't happen.
Enough of that.
Yeah. Damn right. Thank you. It's about
Gotta cut that out real quick.
Okay, well, now that I've successfully warned you guys for what's coming, let's get into our players of the week this week in an effort to kind of call out people in the community and A, celebrate some achievements, but B, draw some attention from the community to what we're talking about here and let them know, hey, we're watching. You're not just out there by yourselves. So I'm going to throw it to Josh to start us off because I hope he's prepared, and I'll give you two guys a little time to think about it.
Well, Garrett, I'm in a pretty good mood about like trying to get the Sask listeners really perking up because I'm sure our one listener there is really,
you better not
really
say
fired
Dylan
up
now, though, because of that. You're like building to say Dylan.
No, but did you know that their women's team is also in first place? And Garrett, they're actually, I think they're 7-1 right now. So I think that's a real first place record right there.
They got a little better record.
So I think Emily Kaczynski had a great weekend, Garrett. So I'm going to go with Emily as my player of the week because first place club. We got some SAS guests on the show, but we got to give the women's program some love too. 7-1, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's way better than 5-5. Like way better.
Yeah, those girls been rolling for sure.
Did she have a nice stat line or something, Josh? Or did you just pull this one out of nowhere?
I'm clicking through. She had 16 points in the first match. I think they swept them 3-0. And then, these back-to-back Canada West games, Gary, you're never going to get used to it, especially when you play the same team every other weekend. It's just a battle.
Yeah, I mean, if you can...
and she had 14 the second night. Like, that's 30 kills in two matches in 6 sets. Those are Garrett May-like numbers if people remembered your legacy.
It is Garrett May-like numbers, but nobody remembers, Josh. If you can average 5 points a set for the entire season, you're probably going to lead the league in something. And I know from experience, but these guys don't know anything about that.
2 aces, 3 blocks, got an assist somehow. I think that's a scorekeeper error maybe, or maybe she's a good secondary setter, Garrett. I know 6 digs. What a stat line. I'm just reading the stat line. That's for sure. Confirmed. Emily. Bam.
Well, congrats, Emily. Hit us up on whatever platform of choice. We know you won't, though. Okay, so let's go over to Dylan to see really what this star of the USAS team can deliver in terms of player of the week. You got anything for us, Dylan, or are you still not ready?
Please say yourself.
No, I think...
I would have said myself. What are you doing?
Can I say someone else on my team?
Maybe. Depends.
Yeah,
Can't be Matt.
I could say like our setter Jake Rappin. He had like 99 assists this weekend, I think, which is pretty sweet.
Didn't get 100 though, eh?
No, didn't get 100, so I let him know about that. But he was lighting it up this weekend, and especially when we had a weird week with practices and stuff, and guys being out for COVID, so he really stepped up and was chucking the ball really well to me. So,
you know what? If you weren't going to say yourself, the next best answer is to say your setter, because you're going to clip this and send it to him, and he's going to start dishing you the butter way more now just because you said that. I mean, 99 sets is a pretty sweet stat line as well. I mean, again, couldn't get 100 though, so room for improvement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, congrats. Thanks, Dylan. And over to Matt. Are you ready to go? And you could say Dylan now, but probably shouldn't.
Okay, I won't. He's gonna be another guy from my team though. So.
Oh, this is brutal, you guys.
I know,
Sean McKay School of Diplomacy.
People, man. What can I say? I don't support nobody else.
Huskies.
Okay, so if you guys want to watch something cool,
I
would go to the Saturday game that we played Brandon, and I would watch. I believe it was in the 4th set, where Levi Olson went. More, did you remember the score at that point?
Yeah, it was 6-4, and then it ended at 17-4.
Serving.
What?
Yes, indeed.
He's definitely one of the strongest
I've ever seen in my life. I think Brandon made 3 subs to try to stop it and 2 timeouts and couldn't. So it's probably one of the cooler things in volleyball that I think should be checked out. So I think he ended the night with, if I'm looking at his stat line here, it's 13 kills and 6 service aces. So, and that all happened, like the service aces all came in that 4th set. So if you guys want to check that out, I would go check that out. It's pretty cool.
Well done. Congrats on that service run. Now, how the heck do we watch that?
I think we got to borrow a Volleymetrics password or something, Garrett.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get that?
Because Canada West TV is a pay subscription, right?
It is, yeah.
See, Garrett, we can't even be fans of these guys because I can't get off my
that
wallet.
Is worth your money? They think that.
Yeah,
they think that type of volleyball is worth. How much is it?
I have no idea how much it is. $50.
$50 a month.
No, I think we can link up after. I'll give you the Volleymetrics password. We can link up after.
Oh, Josh, if we get on the Volleymetrics from these guys, we're going to be doing all sorts of analysis. Absolutely not.
I'll be praying for another snow day from work just so I could sit home and watch all these games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, well, really?
Well, no, I need
that chunk.
I need people to send me the chunk, and then I'll go back and watch it. I don't want to watch like 10 sets versus Brandon for like one amazing moment. Like,
yeah, I would have been loving to commentate that part of the game. Yeah. Like, I would have been all over that. That's awesome. Well, I think a pretty good one, Matt. Well done. So I have 2 players of the week. I'm breaking the rules again already. Last week, my player of the week was the government of Ontario for shutting down that league. I stand by that. I stand by that. So this week, I'm going off the board a little bit as well, but these are actual people. So first, my first player of the week is Antoine Brazard. Now, bonus points to you guys if you can tell me who that is.
No.
This is a huge problem with our sport right now. So he literally just got named the best player in the world of 2021. Best player. Volleyball World named him.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
credible
best
source.
player,
right?
Pretty credible
Volleyball
source.
World.
yeah.
He's
Never
the
heard of
setter for the French team.
I
French
did.
team, yeah.
I did see that. I didn't recognize his name, but
Well, right. Like, this is a problem. I didn't know who he was. I also took a peek and saw, though, that he does have 4 teammates in the top 12. So that kind of made me go, well, is it you or is it your team who's carrying you to that number 1 spot, bud? But, I mean, how will we know? I don't know. On the women's side, it is Kim Yeon-koom from Korea, who is the number 1 player of 2021 in the world. So, I mean, congrats to both of them. They probably don't need to hear it from me, but I figured if we're celebrating excellence, we should go to the top at least one time, right?
yeah, for sure.
Josh, we didn't know who those people were, though.
Yeah, and I'm on a volleyball show, and I didn't know that, Garrett. And they won the Olympics. Like, if anybody deserves to have their name known, it's the France setter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, congrats to them. We should make some sort of trophy or something and send to them. But as we said last week, it is definitely not in the budget, so we can't spin that whatsoever.
I think
Okay.
overkill bucket hats for all our players of the week would be a big hit.
Now, again, don't have the budget. We only have the budget for one old and stained one, and we don't even have the budget to ship that. So, yeah, we'll just leave that. We'll just let that one hang.
You can do payment on delivery, though. I think we can.
Well, I mean, if somebody wants to pay for this overkill hat, you're gonna have to ask my mom though, because she's pretty partial to it. Segueing, because I was on volleyball websites trying to do research for this volleyball show. See apology at the beginning of the show for lower quality of episodes. I'm trying to improve, and I realized that all of the the Volleyball Federation's websites are complete trash. And I was wondering if we could try to figure out why that is. I go on Volleyball Canada. There's really nothing on there. There's like a few articles here and there. There's not a lot of news going on, not a lot of interest stuff. Even USA Volleyball, their site is pretty weak. They have a lot of information here, but they have a few more articles. But still, like, the breadth of stuff you can check out is very low. And I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. Like, if you're looking for volleyball stuff, where the heck do you go?
Yeah, that's a good question. The Volleyball Canada one is bad too. Like, I haven't checked out on most other ones, but like you said, there's just a big lack of info and like not a lot of like interactiveness with the users. You could just be like, I don't know, like just like more links to articles about players or something like that, just to learn more and like easy access to stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't we have, like we said last week, we're definitely looking for unpaid interns. So if you're an intern, you're looking for an internship, we are accepting. Again, no budget, but at least get something like that, because I know they have collaborations with schools and stuff like that. But like, oh man, I mean, look at the Volleyball Saskatchewan website. Again, not great though.
Yeah. Not
really a lot going on here. Yeah, there's, like, why are these websites so garbage? Like, is it not important? Like, where do we find this stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, like, on a serious note, it probably is not yet to that point in, I guess, national interest, maybe, in the sense that, obviously, like, we us four have, incredible passion for the sport ourselves, and, when we were players, it was something that was part of our daily lives.
I lost Prim.
He's had enough, Garrett. He had enough. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good. We understand if you're getting a little bit bored, you got to spice things up a little bit and just kind of fake us out there a little bit. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
And listen, if you get bored and you're just sick of the show, feel free to let us know and sign off in a complete storm off. We've never had a guest do that before, but we would welcome it with open arms.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if anybody's getting really upset, definitely feel free to throw that out there.
Yeah, especially in the middle of my own speech right there, right? Just, like,
in the middle of your own segment, just get so pissed with yourself. You log off and just peace. I've had enough.
Keep them on their toes. But like I was saying before, I just don't know if it's at that national interest compared to like hockey or like, you know, what you know, our national interest is. Or it seems like we pop up every couple of years, right, with the Olympics, right? That's when like volleyball, at least when I was growing up, volleyball was like, okay, kind of main stage for a little bit during the Olympics. You know, everybody's kind of interested, and then it dies off again, and then nobody cares. So I think you know, maybe us as athletes can do a better job of trying to, I guess, develop interest for the next generation, and maybe take it into our own hands. And I think, like, you know, not to gas you guys up too much, but you guys doing stuff like this is a positive step forward.
Well, don't feel like you need to be wary of gassing us up too much. Like that. Don't feel like you need to avoid that as desperately. I mean, we will welcome that. Even on the U Sports website, I'm looking on. This is the league that you guys play in. It's still a pretty weak website. They do Athletes of the Week though, Josh, and I mean, they didn't pick the same people we did this week for volleyball. I mean, Brody Hofer from Trinity Western men's volleyball got the player of the week this week. How does that make you feel, Dylan, after an excellent performance this weekend where your coaches praised your performance? You still can't win the U Sports Athlete of the Week.
I mean, I think that one might be from a while ago because Trinity didn't play this weekend, but
Yikes. So it was so good last weekend that you won it this week and didn't even play.
Yeah. No, I mean, not much you can do there. Kudos to him. I think he popped off last time he played. So, I mean, it is what it is.
You're absolutely right. They don't have one. That was from December. You are absolutely right. They have not updated that. So they did Players of the Week once a month.
Once a month, yeah.
They do it. Like, what are we doing here, volleyball?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys. What are we going to do about it?
Well, it says here, I don't know, this is just on our own page, but Canada West Volleyball chose Morty as the player of the week. So, yeah, I mean, shout out to Morty. Go Morty. King Morty.
Yeah. I don't know how U Sports does their selections, but.
Yeah, but they really don't know what they're talking about, though, because you said it yourself that your setter was the player of the week. So, like, what?
And where's love for Liberos? Am I right, guys?
Exactly. Yeah. Grim's out here getting 3 digs a game. Sorry, that's kind of a running joke we have. It's just.
You had a game where you had only 3 digs.
Wow, no, I don't see. The thing is, I don't think that's ever happened. But for some reason, it's just a narrative that these guys just have produced.
Yeah. Well, we have to comb through the stats to see if you ever played a full match where you only had 3 digs.
We'll check it out.
I'm sure we're over-exaggerating a bit, but.
Josh, are you looking that up right now? Because I'm not sure we have the time.
So just a comment about these websites, Garrett. I think sometimes it's a credit to these organizations, but it's also frustrating as a user to like how many clicks you have to get through to like find all this stuff. And I realized when you said player of the year, you didn't declare men's or women's. So I'm actually trying to find the women's player of the year from 2015, and I can't find it because it's so many clicks on this freaking website that it's not that easy to get to. So and we're on a volleyball show, so I'm putting energy into this. But if I was a casual fan, I'd be on a different page reading about something else or on TSN watching hockey highlights by now. Like it's pretty frustrating to find this information.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, like, how the hell do we fix that? Like, because it can't be, because there's no ads on these sites. So it's not like they're making money from them. No, it's purely like, but is there nobody who's interested in these things being good? Like, do we just not care? Like, to bring a lesson in from if volleyball taught me anything, it was that everyday greatness is really how you achieve great things in sport and life. That was a Marquise-ism, and John, and my biological father, imprinted that on me. And like, so, you know, I take that every day into work and what I'm doing, and even this show, like, well, no, I take a break for this show. So everyday greatness, except the hour that I record Sharp Cuts. But like, if we really want to celebrate excellence in volleyball, how are we not doing that in all aspects? You know what I mean? Like, these guys driving 7 hours, how does that make sense in the grand scheme of things? That's just an example.
For sure. Can I ask you a question on that? Like, when you were playing in your own career, was it the same sentiment that you felt? Was like, you know, not necessarily getting the respect, I guess, from whether it be U Sports as a whole or
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I went in 2010 and won the Junior World Championships. And, it was great. We had fun. A lot of people seemed to care. But at the same time, it was like, it's shocking to me how little of a deal it was,
Right.
Like I thought, oh, this is the pinnacle. Like you're going to, even Melissa and Sarah, I got a great story about that. And it's a great segue, actually. Melissa and Sarah win the World Championships of beach volleyball. They're Canadian, yet it doesn't feel like a big deal in our sport. Like, we don't celebrate them. Where's the articles? Where's the videos? Like, Sarah Pavin has a YouTube channel where she reviews high-Q videos. Like, that's what she's doing because that's more popular than what's actually going on in the sport. It's just wild.
Yeah,
And when I played U Sport, we knew nobody cared. Like, we knew nobody was watching.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I mean nobody. I mean, there's a couple other people who I would say you guys probably have pretty good support compared to some other teams. Would you say?
For sure, 100%.
Like people come out to the games.
Yeah, like the when I first transferred from SAS, I played when I played in Lethbridge, I played at Lethbridge College in the ACAC. We had awesome support, right? It's a small community, right? And kind of built from the ground up. Like fans were packing the gym, and I was a little bit worried. I was like, well, universities, middle of nowhere SAS, right? Like there's no other universities around really that have a volleyball program. When I first went there, the gym was packed, like open night, which was awesome because you think like, oh, like this is something to these people, right?
Yeah.
And you feel like you're valued as an athlete there. But across the nation, I don't know if that's the same kind of feeling that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and Josh, you'll find this funny. I don't know if you knew this, but to revisit to the Melissa and Sarah thing before I forget, I did want to talk about this tonight because recently there was an episode of a TV show that aired that featured our beach volleyball world champions. And I'm not sure when they recorded it, but I feel like it aired recently, and my mom recorded it and I watched it back. So Melissa and Sarah and Hernan and Paul Pavin, Hernan Jimenez, so their dads were on an episode of Fridge Wars on CBC TV. So it's a show where they go in and steal stuff from your fridge, and then they have to make a nice meal out of it. It's a chef competition show. So they were on the show and sitting down there eating this chef prepared meal, like critiquing it and like talking about it. And they're like the beach volleyball world champions with their dads. I thought it was so hilarious, and you got to go check it out if you can. Fridge Wars, season 1, episode 6. Mel and Sarah are on it. Josh, have you seen / heard of this?
I have not heard of this, but now I'm intrigued.
You need to quit your job immediately. What?
Now that we're promoting the show on our show, maybe we'll be on Fridge Wars.
Yes. Hey, Fridge Wars. If you're listening, Josh and I are available. But it was hilarious because, they only get small clips. So, Mel dipped her salmon in chocolate sauce and ate it. Was like the big moment of the show, and she loved it. And then that guy won. I was like, this is hilarious. Like this. But when does that ever happen with volleyball people? Basically never. So amazing to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to check it out, Josh.
So you're saying we need more content, Garrett. That's what it really comes down to, is we need, one, more people to watch it so then we can get paid for this. And then if we get paid for this, the more content we'll create. And then the more these people become household names, or you're right, the world champions are not known.
Well, something's got to give, right? Like, you think if these guys were stinking out the joint every night, that all those fans would come and watch them in Saskatchewan? Like, they're going to come watch a team who, doesn't care, doesn't put their effort out, doesn't celebrate when they make big plays. Like, I don't even know you guys and haven't even seen you play, but I figure that your home games are probably a pretty fun time.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's the atmosphere there is awesome. Like I said, Sask feels like Saskatoon's like a community, and I mean that not in the sense that what the pure definition is, but I mean there's a togetherness in the gym, which I think is so important to have. And yeah, I love it. I'm so truly, I am proud to say I'm a Husky. So I think that's at the end of your career, I look back on that and I think I made the right decision transferring over.
Awesome. Well, Josh and I also have really positive experiences with the Huskies. We both coached our college team, George Brown Huskies as well.
nice.
So we're all Huskies in a way.
We're all
I'm
Huskies.
curious, with such a nice environment, and Dylan, you're getting 29 kills, you're getting a lot of kills a game, your coaches are praising you. You've got to have a Rolodex of celebrations that you pull out in kills, like to keep people interested, right? Like, oh, it's kill 17, 18 for Dylan. Like, kind of falling asleep here. We've seen this so many times. Like, tell me some of your celebrations that you pop out with to keep things spicy.
That's a good question. I've been going with like the double arm flex lately. That's been a good one.
Double arm flex, like overhead, like
yeah, just the Hulk Hogan kind of.
like just full on show them the gun.
Just at our team though, right? You got to keep it respectful, of course. But
well, you don't though. Like you actually don't have to.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean that I power tip a lot of balls like to score, and that's kind of also another running joke. So
you power tip?
Yeah.
So you basically throw it down.
Exactly.
And the guys get really ticked off because it's like, wow, it's not like that should be a carry or whatever. Like even my own team's like getting mad.
So how often do you get called on lifts?
Not off, like never.
So you're just out there throwing it down.
I'm throwing the ball out there, yes.
Dunking on people, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to pull out some NBA celebrations at least. Like if you do a really egregious one and the ref doesn't call it, like you got to have something at the ready to just let everybody know. Like maybe like a LeBron, like like
that's a good one.
Whatever, or like just fly like an eagle around the outside or something. Like we got to have something going on here. Just the gun show. You got to have at least something else.
Yeah, man. I gotta beef it up. You're right. Maybe like you're just like pretend to go between the legs with a ball or something like that, or something cool like that.
Yes.
That'd be sweet.
What did we have last week from Jasper, Josh? You had a few ones that you had recommended.
I think he should do the antlers. Like, I think there should be more celebrations. And on the topic of Sellies, Garrett, I think that now that we have like our listeners, these guys are attracting more and more listeners. I want to eliminate celebrating the quick hit to 5 celebration. And if we're going to celebrate that play, Garrett, let's not give the middle Eddie credit. I think we should go to the guy who passed the ball, and he should get all the praise. Because I can't take another middle quick to 5. I just can't take any more.
What do you mean you can't take another quick hit to 5? I can't take another quick hit to 5. You're taking my lines out of my mouth here, Josh. But I totally agree. Matt, okay, you pass a dime. They run a quick. The middle hits it to 5. Classic. I mean,
and everyone ignores it
there.
Yeah, you just stand in the middle of the court, and they huddle around you.
Yeah. There's not even a blocker up.
Or on those plays, nobody celebrates. You just like totally stoic, like nothing ever happened. Like I don't mind that too. Yeah, we need to spice up the celebration. You had another one though, Josh, that was really stupid. The like sideburns and the double finger guns.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah.
I like that.
That'd be a good one for you, Prem. You got the facial hair for it.
I might throw that out there.
Yeah, but what is the Libero celebrating where everyone's looking at the barrel? Like maybe a huge dig or something?
Yeah.
Well, he gets 3 digs a game. We got to celebrate it.
If you're only getting 3 a game, you need a unique celly for each.
Yeah, you got to make sure.
You're right. Exactly.
During the play too, like during the rally.
Let's just lay down on the ground.
You're not covering. You're selling. Yeah.
Yeah, like you dive for a dig and you just do a few push-ups while you're down there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We need that.
I can incorporate that. You might see it. Watch our next game. We'll see it out there.
Yeah.
We need a sequence, Josh, where we just celebrate the best celebrations of the week. But the problem is that the segment will be garbage because we'd have nothing to celebrate.
There's only so many clips you could show of an outside getting a kill and then turning and yelling, "Let's go!" and like doing like a little mini flex. Like it's been done, Garrett. It's been done.
If you took the celebrations from my career and just stacked them side by side, it would probably be like a movie, like an identical clip of me doing the same thing every single time. Like I was incredibly boring. I needed to step my celebration game up.
Yeah.
I was too scared though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, these days, I mean, a ref will call anything. You can't even like look at a guy the wrong way, and things go south. So.
What are they calling though? Like they give you a yellow card?
I don't know.
Probably.
We got a bunch like warnings or like I mean, we got first half of the season we got a guy who's like the nicest dude on our team, like literally straight edge, doesn't swear, doesn't curse, doesn't say anything.
That's his problem right there.
Got a red card on the
red
bench.
card?
It was on, and like no warning of a yellow. He just got a straight red for rude conduct. It was pretty tough.
What did he do? What was the rude conduct?
I don't even know what the chirp was. He was just it was like I think the guy hit it with his wrist or something or whatever, and the guy says nice wrist ball or something like that. Like
nice hand contact.
It doesn't make sense. Like it's not even a chirp. And the ref was just like, yes, that guy's a bad person. We have to
Well, maybe the referee was judging everybody's level, and then the increases they wanted to make sure they handled. So that guy's level was so low, he sent one chirp, it was like red card. Although nice wrist ball is not even a good chirp.
It could be the awkwardness of it, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. We got to
we gotta cut that out right now.
Yeah. So you should tell him that he got a red card for just an awful chirp, not misconduct. Like if I was a ref, I'd be giving that out for sure.
Yeah. Let him know. You got to come up with a better chirp. Go take a little bit in the sin bin and come back and think of something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
I think the refs are ruining this for us. I think we talked about it in Anna Dunsoon's episode, where we want the lines people to start waving the flags and doing the monster block. And like the refs should be craving those moments too. They shouldn't be stopping these moments.
Yeah, absolutely. The refs should be dancing in timeouts.
Refs are people too, man. Yeah,
I was watching the NFL this past weekend. I forget what it was. It was the wild card weekend. And no, it was the NBA. And they cut from the timeout back to the ref doing a full-on dance number, like with the camera on him for the people in the audience. And I was like, that's what we need in volleyball. Get those refs up on the stand doing some sort of dance move to keep things exciting, keep it loose, and humanize them a little bit. They're just robots up there, you know?
I hear you. Was Sean a big celebrator back in the day? Like, did he,
That's a good question.
No. Absolutely not. He and I were both the same celebration, just a fist bump, keep it moving. But we had a few crazy celebrators on our team, and not good ones though. Like if you're gonna go in for a celebration, you got to have a little bit of thought behind it, right? Not like slapping the floor is just such a weird one, right? Like that's a bit of a freak out. Like you're slapping the floor. Like, you need a good one. We need a good one for Dylan here if he's going to keep getting all these kills. Like, something unique to you, Dylan. What are you busting out next? Next game, what is somebody catching a shot of you and sending it to sharp cuts? What are you doing?
Man. I don't know. I like the LeBron one. I always like LeBron. So, maybe the chest slap or something like that. That'd be pretty dope.
We need that. Tell Sean, Coach Sean, that he needs to get one of the assistant coaches just on phone duty to stay snaps of the sweet celebrations.
Yeah.
Because they're not really doing much else.
Machine going in the background. Yeah. That's funny.
that's a bit harsh. But yeah, LeBron, okay. And what's the Libero celebration like? Because oftentimes the Liberos are like the loudest guy on the court, right?
Yeah.
Is that you, Matt?
I don't know. I you watch my I think in truthfulness, there's a couple clips where I take my jumping pretty serious, so I'm trying to get as much air as I can.
When you jump celebrate, you need to get up.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get up. But yeah,
Max for jump on those celebrations.
I was just trying to point to Morty, you did it again. Praise him. I'm passing a 2-8.
How about a down and bow?
That's a good one.
Are you getting a yellow card?
Morty.
I don't know if you'd get a yellow card. Probably not. Maybe if you looked at the other team while doing it.
Yeah, fun stuff, not stuff that's mean to the other team.
Yeah.
I recommended last week a home plate slide across the logo on the center of the court, but that one is a bit in your face because the team's right there. But I mean, something like a somersault or a cartwheel or something, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
I think especially if you put an umpire as another guy on your team and he's giving the safe call, when another guy comes in there to slide, I think that, then it's it's an act. It's not just you're being weird. So
absolutely. Coordinated sellies. You need dedicated practice time to coordinate the team sellies for the inevitable wins that are going to be coming for this University of Saskatchewan team. I mean, and the celebration game will help you. We maybe need to get Sean McKay on here, and Josh and I can give him a lecture on celebration etiquette.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Yeah. Actually, I like that one. If somebody makes a big play, even after the point's over, it's not the end of the game, just go to the bench and slide. Everyone's going safe on the bench. That'd be pretty sweet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or after you rip an ace, as you're going back to get the ball for the next one, you home plate slide.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Pre-serve. Or you all line up and Libero home plate slides through everybody's legs.
Yes,
that's a good one.
That might be the play.
Yeah.
That might be the play. I like that. We're gonna implement this. Keep an eye out for it next time we play.
I mean, the Huskies around Canada are renowned for their celebrations, whatever team they're on. So we need to keep that spirit alive from all the hot team. That's a pretty common name, Huskies. So we need to keep the legend growing. So this is how the show goes, boys. This is how it is. We talk about stuff until we get to a time where I gotta just say, hey, this is it, and I ask you, well, what'd you think?
Yeah, super. That was great. That was super great.
Yeah,
I love Passin.
Yeah, wow. We left them speechless, Josh.
Yeah.
Super great.
Yeah, that was
Super
honestly like I love just like talking about volleyball and stuff. Like not a lot of people like outside of like our team, just like even like the jargon that people use. Like not a lot of people are super privy to that. So I think it's sweet that we can just come on here and mess around. Yeah, it's super fun.
Anytime I can support Morty and anything that he does, I'm always here for him. So,
yeah. I know Prim's got my back, so.
So when Morty goes around practice and asking guys for stuff, is it basically like drop what you're doing and help this guy?
Yes, demonstrative. He's headhunting out there too. That's another thing. He's like trying to kill people in the game.
What?
Dude, you gotta relax, Morty. That couldn't be me.
You gotta watch out for those dunks.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
Wow. Yeah. Well, to summarize, we got Dylan to say that the OUA was garbage.
Correct.
Check.
We all kind of agreed that volleyball has terrible websites. And Matt, we got you to say that you're going to do a home plate slide through everybody's legs in celebration as part of your team's success. I mean, I got to think it's a successful episode, Josh.
Yeah, he's got to tell us when it happens so we can look it up on volumetrics. Or if these guys are going to go 5 sets all the time, Garrett, I think there's a certain point in the match that you're allowed to do like a hitting warm-up again. I think Matt should be hitting meter ball fatties in between the set changes just to like show people that he's not just a guy wearing a different colored shirt, Garrett. He's an athlete.
But even if you're bad, even if you're terrible at meter balls, still do it.
Yeah, still do it. You're right. I'm going to implement that.
Yeah, like get out there and hit those meter balls high, hard, and deep to the corner. Yeah, get out there and represent. I mean, absolutely. Do they do that?
Oh, like you know what? I haven't been doing it this full season so far, but high and deep to the corner is where it's going. Next ball.
Wait, you haven't been doing it? Like you've been trying to bounce?
I have not. I'm pretty focused in on the game, but I mean, hey, I'm in my last year. I can have a little fun myself.
Absolutely.
Too, right? So
here's a next level meter ball warm up move: is tip it.
Okay.
Like warm up your tip in the warm up. Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, I don't condone this behavior, but 1 year at Nationals, Reed May, Garrett's brother, was phasering balls at the DJ at McMaster during warm-up because he was libero hitting it. You know where the DJ booth is up top, Garrett? He was trying to get him.
Yeah, what an absolute clown for doing that. Like, not doing well for the family name. I hate that thing, though. Absolutely. I would be doing that, too, if I had a little bit more courage like he did. For sure.
Gary, just one more note for our listener who made it this far in the show. If they're wondering, hey, who was the Women's Player of the Year in 2015? It was Yulia Pakomenenko from the Thompson Rivers Wolfpack. Congratulations, Yulia.
It took you the entire show to find that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it bothered you so much that you had to heads down find this thing. And we are 58 minutes in.
And we so many
just
jokes.
Discovered the Women's Player of the Year from 2015.
And by the way, speaking of legacy of our sport, Winnipeg Westman, they had a women's player win this award like 8 out of 10 years at one point, Garrett. They must have just been a wagon of a team. Like probably better than 7-1 record, probably undefeated. Probably 5-5.
Probably better than
5-5. That sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, when you got that kind of talent, you can only ever really be 5 out of 5. That's just the record of champions I hear. I don't know for sure, but I got to think.
Well, numbers don't lie, right?
So are you guys going to finish for, how is 50% in a league of 4 teams? How is 5-5 number 1?
Parity.
Well, it's messed up because two teams have only played 8 games. So we have like 2 games in hand, or they have 2 games in hand. So like I said, Winnipeg 5-3, they could be 7-3 next week with,
right.
And then we could be 5-5, right? So we're basically just a week ahead of guys.
Okay. Well, so enjoy first place while it lasts.
Yeah.
Like, let's celebrate. Let's go. Like, you got to live it up. Like, let's get the vote for the top 10 around Canada happening right now because we need to capitalize on this moment.
Absolutely, yeah.
Garrett, I'm not even joking. They play them 4 more times, so it'll all even out at the end, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You playing the same team 4 more times?
We know that you are.
Yeah, like
we're not doing this ever again. Not that I'll be ever allowed to play.
Yeah.
So let's not do this Prairie Conference stuff.
We play U of M 4 times and U of W 4 more times as well.
Have you already played them?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So how many total for the season?
Well, if you count preseason, like
I don't.
Okay, so we've only played them twice.
Okay, so you're playing these teams each 6 times.
Yeah.
So at some point, it gets like you're playing that 6th match. Playoffs have already been decided pretty much. There's only 4 teams. And if they haven't, I mean, grit it out, go for it. But you got to bring out some fun. Like, you're going to have all those supporters there at your home game. Like, you're playing this team for the 6th time. Like, you got to bring out something interesting.
Yeah,
right?
Prim on left side. Maybe that's the move that night, you know?
Yeah.
Prim
Yeah.
on left side,
I support it
like
fully.
nobody for once in my life.
I support it fully. But you need to somehow let everybody know, because again, we also discussed that nobody knows who anybody is. Right. So when they see you at left side, everybody just assume, oh yeah, that's the left side guy.
Yeah,
he's
I
out
think
there.
before the game, I'll put the Libero jersey on. They'll be all like, "Oh, that's the Libero," and then I'll take the Libero jersey off to reveal my normal jersey, like everybody else on the court, and then go to my left side position.
You need to set that moment up and get it on the jumbotron or whatever.
The cameras,
the assistant coach in the huddle view is what we want.
Yeah, like, and then get the spotlight. I don't know if you guys have that. Like, get the spotlight on you. Like, that is a moment that people would cheer for. Absolutely. Now, if you have that moment and go out there and totally suck, that's tough.
It's okay. Yeah, life goes on.
I support it.
Remember this in 5 years, like you said. Right?
Yeah,
I support it fully. That's why you need to hit that high, hard, and deep in the meter ball warm up, is to get ready for it when you're on the outside there.
Or just throw it into the first row of the stands so you're practicing like the Dylan shot.
Warm up, you're warming up the throw tip. And you're just throwing it into the stands.
Garrett, we got to do this. We can have like a school kids game. We can call it the splash zone, the first 3 rows on the opposite side of the net, and then Prim's just up there like chucking balls at them in warm up.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to go to the game and have a risk of. It's the worst thing about watching volleyball is the risk that somebody pounds one off your face.
Don't sit in the splash zone, baby. That's what we're all about.
The splash zone. Hey kids, come down to the game and get hit in the face. At least it's a throw. Like, if somebody's pounding one off the face, like, absolutely not. Another great move for the meter ball warm-up: just bounce it under the net.
Under the net, yes, I've seen that happen before. Yeah,
nobody knows. They just see the huge bounce because they weren't paying attention anyways, and they look back and they go, "Whoa, that guy must have just bounced it." Yeah, you did.
Was that the Libero who just bounced that ball?
Oh. Yeah, absolutely, amazing.
Absolutely. Before we go, because we are winding down, I gotta bring something up, and I was holding on to it. What is with the headband game on your guys' team?
Yeah, a bunch of bums. I know. I don't know.
What is with the headband situation? It can't be for sweat.
It's not for sweat. I'm just swagger, I guess. Like, we got a few dudes like Benny and Sky and me and Jay. No, it's a good look. Luke.
It's a good look.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think it's about as a good look as this bucket hat that I'm wearing right now.
I never said it was a bad look, so
if you agree, I feel great.
Right on. I don't know. The boys have been flowing with the headbands, so we'll slowly get one about a month. So maybe Prim will be next. We'll see.
Okay, yeah. So Matt, you gotta like pull out the headband.
I'm telling you, last game of the season, I'm wearing a headband. I'm playing left side. I'm throwing the ball in warm up, and we're doing it.
Amazing. I would watch that. I would watch that over really any other game in the league, pretty much.
We want exclusive content, so just pick your second assistant coach. We want like from a bench point of view shot of this.
Okay,
yeah, we need to get some coaches on here and really grill them to say, what does your third assistant actually do during a game? Nothing. Get them on social media duty to send us some great shots is what we need them to do. Speaking of social media, we didn't say it all episode, Josh, and that's just bad hype of us, but you got to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're still watching, which nobody is, but if you are, subscribe. Hit that 5 stars on the podcast as well if you're listening. How do they do that, Josh? Like, I did it one time and I forget.
It's through Apple only, so if you're listening on Spotify, thank you, or Google Play, or whatever network you're listening to, thank you. But if you're an Apple listener, you just got to go to the show in your apps there and just click the 5 stars. It's not that hard, Garrett. In fact, I would appreciate if our numbers just spiked after this.
You know what, though? You don't have to be listening on iTunes to still go in 5-star there or hit us up with the subscribe button. Like, you can still do that anyways. And we're going to put immense pressure on these two guys who are our guests on the show to do both of those things right now, boys. Like, what the heck are you waiting for? It's been a blast. You're not going to subscribe? Brutal.
Ratings are good, Garrett. I really appreciate the comments. I really like just scrolling through and having a good smile because somebody, took the time to leave us a note.
Well, I have one comment for you from last week then. Are you ready for it?
Which one of our loyal listeners was it?
Derek,
was it a new one? Oh, yes.
And he says, "Welcome back. I was worried about you guys."
That's what happens when you build up so much momentum and then you take like 3.5 weeks off and post on a Wednesday when it's a Monday show.
I think I misquoted that, but it was. I'm paraphrasing here.
Well, thanks, Derek.
Yeah, appreciate it, Derek. We are back. Oh yeah, finally back. I was getting worried. Yeah. I mean, we had somebody worry about us, Josh. That's got to be reassuring.
Well, this is great, Garrett. I mean, it's good to expand to the SAS community. Maybe Emily will come on the show next week and we can talk to the, we can use these guys as a stepping stool to keep it going,
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe my players of the week will come on the episode too, and we'll really spike the numbers.
Wow, if we can get your players of the week, yeah.
Well, that'll do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here with us, Matt and Dylan. Appreciate it. It's been a blast. Thank you all for listening. If you still are, you're probably not, but we appreciate it. And we will see you next time.